We got Josh Schertz wearing a slightly different shade of blue.
That's right.
On your shirt this year. What's going on, gentlemen? How we doing?
Doing well. How about you guys?
Doing great, man.
All's
doing
good.
Great. Fired up to be here.
You ready for the big game against Avila University?
It's going to be a packed one. It's going to be a lot of
you
fun.
lose.
It's going to be a lot of
telling
fun. Yeah, everybody's still convinced that everybody's convinced it's still me against the rest of the team.
I would actually enjoy seeing
it's
that.
me and my dad and my brother out there just playing against the rest of the team. But
How you doing? Grace play?
He said, Grace can get out there. She was she had her first season last year. She was elite. We had the whole starting five.
All right. So what's it been like? The transition. We'll start with you, Josh. The transition going from Indiana State to St. Louis, where again you retained a couple key pieces. Mm-hmm. You brought one knucklehead with you. Yep. You brought two, but I'm not calling the other one a knucklehead. Just this guy. Exactly. What's it been like for you so far?
It's been great. It's transitions are always difficult. I think on a lot of reasons. I mean, just the logistics of moving, and you're leaving something you're comfortable with to go to something brand new. But the administration in St. Louis has been great. The city's been awesome. It's such a cool sports town. Facilities are high level. They care about it. Great infrastructure, resources. We were able to put together a really good staff. We've got a good team. You have everything there needed to sustainably, compete at a high level, and that's what we were looking for. So it's never easy, buying a house, selling a house, all the stuff that people don't think about when you make a move. But it's been about as good as you can get, and to start where we were in April with having to get 11 new guys, and having to schedule 12 games, and then all the NIL stuff. To get that done in pretty short order, it's been about as good as it can be given the circumstances.
Robbie, was there ever a doubt that you were going to follow Coach Schertz to St. Louis?
I would say there was a doubt for maybe about a good 30 minutes. Being real, when we met at the end of the year last year, he talked about it, and I kind of told him I needed some time to sit back with my parents and think about what the options were. And I kid you not, maybe about 30, 45 minutes later, I was driving back to the apartment after, I got some food, and I picked up the phone and called them. I was like, hey, wherever you go, I'm there. Whether it's here, whether it's across the country, whether it's overseas, I'm like, I'll be there with you. And so it didn't take much thinking.
It took one meal. What was the meal?
It took one meal. I think it was Panda Express.
You didn't get like a prime rib or something?
No, just that orange chicken. Just I guess it changed the way I thought.
MSG completely affected his
life-changing orange chicken.
SMG.
I'll tell you what. I don't know if I've ever, I mean this in all my years of doing this, I don't know if I've ever seen a relationship like you guys have as player and coach. And that's like the highest compliment. Because, again, you can coach them, but you also know you guys have something special here, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, he makes it an easy target. The things that he does, it just makes it so easy on me. But, I think just what I saw when I came in at Indiana State was just, even the recruiting process, just how genuine of a person he was. Even as a coach, obviously, I obviously liked all the, the stuff that he was selling with that part. But, just the way he was up front from the beginning, and, it never, wavered, throughout the first season and even last year. It's just the same person overall. And so, when you find somebody like that, especially, and now's era, it's just, it's special, and so you don't want to lose that when you got that.
Why? Why with him? Because it's different, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it is. It's there's, I think when you coach guys, some guys, and the ones that you really connect with, the ones that let you in a level that's deeper than basketball.
Yeah.
And Rob and I obviously like there's a connection. We have similar sense of humor. I think. I think we both try to inject that into it, the joy, the fun. Like I think we can, take what we do incredibly seriously, but not take ourselves too seriously, and that allows us to kind of have maybe a better perspective as you're going through it. Of like, man, we don't, I can coach him hard when he's not playing well. Like he'll take coaching, but he, there's a difference. Like. You can build an offense around him, but he's a guy you can build a program around as well. And there's a personality component of that. There's a leadership component of that. And not every great player, is a great leader. Not every great player is a guy you can build an entire program around. But he does it every area. Like when you go recruiting, he's an elite recruiter of other players. When we're in between the lines, like he's obviously got an incredibly high basketball IQ, but he coaches. He doesn't yell. But he holds guys accountable to the things that get in the way of winning. He brings the vision of who we want to be and how we want to operate to the locker room and to the court. And I think one of the things we've had here at, and when you take over a new job is one of the harder things is, getting everybody to, as a head coach, like you can't be successful if guys don't believe in you, trust in you, and follow you. They have to believe in you, trust in you, follow you. And you have to get a bunch of people to do that really don't know you. And the fact that he does, I think it makes it easier for those other guys to say, hey, we're in too. And that's helped really expedite our learning curve there.
All right, so you keep gushing about him.
Yeah.
Give me something that you are challenging him to get
That's
better
the most
at.
nice things he's ever said in a row, without throwing him.
Well, let's get real though now. Like let's get to
Get to the list of negatives about
the
Robbie.
list of negatives is a lot. So very, very, he's constantly asking for his pregame meal's not right. He's got to have fruit. He's got this stuff.
High maintenance.
It's a simple meal.
I was thrilled that I told him. I said when he got hurt, I said, I've never been so happy that your vertical leap's like less than 10 inches because he had a grade 2 ankle sprain. Imagine what it could have been if he jumped more than 3-4 inches off the ground.
Get a grade 3.
Yeah, so
right?
he could not
Incapable.
possibly get a grade. No, nothing. If he jumps and lands on something, grade 2 is the worst he could do. So we were thrilled with that. That was so we don't want him to work on that too hard. So we don't want him getting hurt. But
honestly, let's be serious. What did you challenge him this year?
He's got to get his body right. I mean, like he knows that. Like if he has aspirations. The one thing I really respect about Robbie, he's incredibly ambitious but not agenda driven. I think there's a difference. Like he's incredibly ambitious with what he wants to accomplish in his career, but doesn't have an agenda about going about achieving it. And so he wants to play at the highest level. And we've had NBA scouts in, NBA people in. I certainly have friends at that level. And the feedback he's gotten is, hey, you have all the tools. You got to get your body right to be able to play at that level. We've got an incredible strength coach at St. Louis in Jake Manson. One of the things I love about St. Louis is, they have a nutritionist, they have the dining suite, they have things where they can really monitor. He's done a much better job this offseason. His jump in his game, like player development's 3 prongs. There's your skill, there's your mind. Those for him are at the highest level. He can get better in both, but his biggest jump's going to be the third one, which is the body. And so he's really committed to that. And he's done a great job, even with the ankle. We talked about really making sure, hey, you're off your, you're not going to be able to do anything cardio-wise. You may have to practice for a few weeks. Let's really be disciplined in what we eat, and even more so because, and he hasn't gained a pound in the 10 days been off, which I'm really proud of him.
What did the nutritionist say about the orange chicken from Panda Express? Big fan of that.
She definitely said that we had to cut a few of those meals out. But no, she's been really good with us. We meet with her like once a month, and especially over the summer, we really hit it hard and. Really just, looking at what we eat, how that affects us, throughout the day. I think the biggest thing for me is, we've been trying to work on eating breakfast a little bit more. I'm more of a guy that likes to sleep in, and so, that's been, something that I've had to change. I've had to, actually get up and get out of bed and get something to eat, in the morning. So she's definitely helped me a lot, with helping me get where I want to be.
Last season, you kind of went from being this guy that a lot of people in the just college basketball world knew about, like good player, Missouri Valley, to being like the guy that everybody talked about, like this internet sensation. Now that you're kind of looking back on it, like, was that difficult for you to kind of deal with? It seems like you handled being someone that got a whole lot of attention out of nowhere really, really well.
It definitely took a little adjustment. It was obviously, it just all, came out of nowhere at once, and so it just just hit after a game, and so it took me a little while just to kind of recognize that, hey, this is real now, like it's going to actually stick. And so I wouldn't say I really struggled too much. I think it's a credit to my parents, how they've raised me, being able to handle the good stuff, and being able to continue on with your path. It's not going to always last.
Yeah.
And so I think I was able to continue on doing what I'm doing, with the guys around us on our team last year too. They really helped us. I think, like I said, I think the spotlight was kind of on me, but I think the only reason why it was is because the team that we had last year, we wouldn't be, I wouldn't have the same spotlight if our team wasn't having the same amount of success. And so I think, like I said, just the credit between those two two factors is kind of how I was able to, handle this so well.
I was trying to just parlay that into deals for myself. Side deals. I was riding his coattails of the fame. I was trying to see, Kareem, Milt Chamberlain, could I get something? But no, nothing came of it. Robbie's got a he's got an uncommon maturity. I think one thing that all championship teams I've been around have is that they have this great emotional leadership, and this, we call it like calm endurance. And Robbie's got uncommon maturity, uncommon poise. I think he stays even keel, doesn't let himself get too high, too low. He didn't change. I think success doesn't change people, it just reveals people, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think it changes who you are, it just shows who you are, and success didn't move the needle with him at all. Like, he's the same guy that he was before he became internet sensation, before he became kind of a rock star. He's still the same human being, and that's that's not everybody can do that, but it does show who he truly is at his core.
Before we let you go, you guys are picked 4th in the preseason. You return some key guys. Obviously, Jimerson's one of the best shooters the school's ever seen, one of the best shooters in the country. You bring in Swope and Robbie. What are the realistic expectations? We have you guys in the preseason top 25 nationally. Mm-hmm. Are we getting a little too carried away, or no?
I think this team, I think the bandwidth is huge. Because when you have so many new pieces, there's a lot that has to come together for it to be. I think what we talked about as a team, and the way I view it, it may be different, but you have these external expectations, which is what somebody thinks is going to happen, and that's a part of that's awesome. Like, that's great. That people have us ranked, or people have us 4th or 1st or whatever.
It's mostly because of Robbie, not you.
Yeah, I thought it was coaching, but
no, it's definitely not.
The coaching would be higher if we had a better coach. We'd be top 10. top 10.
Maybe
if we had
a little bit taller with some hair.
Better. Listen, I've had to carry that guy for 2 years now, but I think what we've talked about internally is possibilities, right? And possibilities are what can happen. So can we be a championship team if we do these things? If we come together, if we're the best version of ourselves, if we come in, if we put all our strengths together and work to become the best version of ourselves, do we have a team that can do something special? Absolutely. We have 3 guys that I think have all league level ability. I think we have really good pieces around those 3 guys. But everybody's got to buy into roles. We're at a point of the year where, we haven't played yet. So, as you guys know, after a couple games, locker room's a little less jovial than it was before, right? You go in and maybe guys aren't playing. How do guys embrace roles? How do we work every single day to get better? Do we stay focused? Can we have that emotional leadership? All those questions have to be answered. But I certainly think we have a team that, if we're the best version of ourselves, no ceilings on what we can accomplish. And anytime you have 3 guys that are all league level players, you got a chance to be in the mix, and so we have a chance to be in the mix for sure.
Yeah, it does feel like you did a really good job going out and kind of, correct me if I'm wrong here, but like targeting guys to fill a role as opposed to rebuilding a roster out of the, well, I mean, you kind of did because you got like Robbie and they pulled him out, but you outside of those 3 guys that you mentioned, you did a good job like filling gaps, filling holes, filling needs, filling roles. Was that something that you kind of targeted, and did it the way that you kind of got into it late because of how deep you guys made the run in the NIT, did that limit you at all?
Playing as deep as we did limit us because you're starting April 8th, and the portal had been churning for a while, and so when we started April 8th, we had 2 guys in the roster. Gibson was in the portal at the time, and so we had to hit the ground running. But I think the thing is, putting a team together is like putting a puzzle together. It's not about you're not just accruing talent. You're trying to find pieces that complement, fit each other, and will amplify the pieces around them. The best teams, and Indiana State was certainly one of them last year. On the really good teams, every single guy looks a level or 2 better than they actually are, because they make each other look better than they actually are. And that's no knock on any individual player. It's just whatever your capacity is, you look probably a level better because the piece around you fit so perfectly, it makes you find your best version. And so that's what, we're trying to do. It doesn't mean, you do that every year. You go after that every year. Some years it works, some years it doesn't. But certainly we went with an idea of what we needed. And I think as we got more pieces in, when Robbie came, Swope came, the biggest part of knowing what you need is knowing what you have. And for a while, we only have 2 players. We didn't know what we had. But once we got Robbie, once we got Swope, once Gibson came back, then we kind of figured, all right, we got our 3 best players. Now, how do we build around those 3 in a way that complements and amplifies those 3 guys?
November 4th, Field of 68, opening day showcase, first day of the college basketball season. You going to be healthy? You're going to get the ankle right? You're going to be there? All right,
He's got
there you
no
go.
boot. He's walking.
I'm all good. We might have to have him out there though.
He's milking the injury. Like I'll say this, like
I'm sick of practice.
I had
Smart guy.
They don't make them like they used to. I mean, I had the same injury. I was back. I played the next day. So I mean, they don't make them like they used to. It's a softer generation.
In tennis, he probably got
like you mentioned. I
6-0,
barely
6-0.
jumped off the ground. He couldn't jump off the ground. So it's still level. It's still levels to it.
So wait, November 4th, as Rob was saying. So Will Wade is playing. They're in the 3rd game, McNeese State against South Dakota State. Will Wade has already agreed at a timeout that I'm going to bring him a plate of Chislik. Do you know what Chislik is?
No, I do not
know what Chislik is. It's their state food in South Dakota. It's like chopped up meat. Like, what can we do with you at timeout?
At immediate timeout?
Yeah.
You can bring me like I don't know if I would trust it in South Dakota, like a nice spicy tuna roll maybe, a hand roll if you want, I don't know if I trust it though in South Dakota, pretty landlocked. So
I'm not sure you want to go there.
I don't know that I would. I don't know that I'd want to go sushi in South Dakota.
I did my research. They have a great Panda Express in St. Falls.
We'll get some orange chicken for
chicken out there.
yeah, some orange.
Nice little snack.
Would you eat it at halftime?
I might take a piece, maybe not a lot. I might eat a piece.
I was going to say if it's possible to slow him down, exactly.
Listen, guys.
Exactly. We can't wait.
Appreciate
It'll be
it.
awesome.
No,
It's going to be a heck
we're
of a day, and
excited.
we appreciate you guys having us out there. We're really excited. It's going to be
Love you guys. You know that.
Same here.
Love
guys.
him a lot more than you, but
I like Rob more than you anyway, so it's similar. I'm only doing this because of him. Only because Rob had me on.